Sing to me now, you muses who hold the halls of Olympus. Who was the first to go up against King Agamemnon? Who of the Trojans or famous Trojan allies? Iphidamus, the rough and rangy son of Antenor, bred in the fertile land of Thrace, mother of flocks. Cisseus reared him at home when he was little, his mother's father who sired the fine beauty Theano. But once he hit the stride of his youth and ached for fame, Cisseus tried to hold him back, gave him a daughter's hand. But warm from the bridal chamber marched the groom, fired up by word that Achaea's troops had landed. 12 beaked ships sailed out in his command, trim vessels he left behind him in Percote, making his way to Troy to fight on foot. And here he came now up against Agamemnon, closer, closing. Atrides hurled and missed, his spear shaft just slanting aside the man's flank, as Iphidamus went for the waist beneath the breastplate. He stabbed home, leaning into the blow full weight, trusting his heavy hand, but failed to pierce the glittering belt, failed flat out. The point, smashing against the silver, bent back like lead. And seizing the spear shaft powerful Agamemnon dragged it toward him, tussling like some lion, and wrenching it free from Iphidamus's slack grasp. He hacked his neck with a sword, and loosed his limbs. And there he dropped and slept the sleep of bronze, poor soldier, striving to help his fellow Trojans, far from his wedded wife, his new bride. No joy had he known from her for all his gifts, the full 100 oxen he gave her on the spot, then promised 1,000 head of goats and sheep from the boundless herds he'd rounded up himself. Now the son of Atreus stripped him, robbed his corpse, and strode back to his waiting Argive armies, hoisting the gleaming gear. But Coon marked him, Coon, Antenor's eldest son, a distinguished man-at-arms, and stinging grief went misting down his eyes for his fallen brother. In from the blind side he came, Agamemnon never saw him, tensed with a spear and slashed him under the elbow, down the forearm, a glint of metal, the point ripped through his flesh, and the lord of fighting men Atrides shuddered. Not that he quit the foray even then. He sprang at Coon, gripping his big spear shaft tough from the gusting wind that whipped its tree. Coon was just dragging his brother foot first, wild now to retrieve his own father's son, calling for help from all the bravest men. But as Coon hauled the body through the press, Agamemnon lunged up under his boss shield, thrust home hard with the polished bronze point, unstrung his limbs and reared and lopped his head, and the head tumbled onto his fallen brother's corpse. So then and there, under royal Agamemnon's hands, the 2 sons of Antenor filled out their fates, and down they plunged to the strong house of death. But the king kept ranging, battling ranks on ranks, and thrusting his spear and sword, and hurling heavy rocks, so long as the blood came flowing warm from his wound. But soon as the gash dried and firm clots formed, sharp pain came bursting in on Atrides' strength, spear sharp as the labor pangs that pierce a woman, agonies brought on by the harsh, birthing spirits, Hera's daughters, who hold the stabbing power of birth. So sharp the throes that burst on Atrides' strength. And back he sprang in the car and told his driver to make for the hollow ships, racked with pain, but he loosed a shrill cry to all his men. Friends, lords of the Argives, O my captains, your turn now. Keep on shielding our fast ships from this latest mass attack. Zeus, who rules the world, forbids me to battle Trojans all day long.